Wow. Okay. So, as first of all, I want to say I've been absent for the past week, and I'm sorry, guys. Even if I did say I would be absent, but still, I wasn't really feeling well, so I had to take the time for myself. I had to get proper treatment so I can, you know, end quarter four strong. I hope we've been making the most of the last quarter. This is crunch time, guys. So let's get ready. Let's get right into it. Let's make some money and let's end the year on a high. Okay. So first of all, as we've been discussing since last week, Euro USD has been selling, right? As you can see. So from last week, I was in a position which I spoke to you guys about. Since then, I haven't actually taken another trade, so I'm still in that position. I'm still holding that position from around here. So my entry was at 1.172. So somewhere around here, this was my entry, and then I had my stop right here, about 80 pip stop. Quite quite the so I'm swinging it to this low, trying to target this liquidity low right here, and then when we get there we'll see what happens. And as I've been preaching and I've been saying for the past month now, that all I'm looking for now is just sales and sales and sales on Euro USD. So first let's analyze the chart, right? So for me, right, so you can see as let's get rid of some of these lines which might be confusing you guys. So if you've been here for the past week or so, you can see all I've been talking about is buying the dollar and selling euro US. And wow, see the beautiful price action on JPY. We'll get there. But the point I'm trying to make now is here we go. So now if you come on the 4 hour, if we look at the market structure, you can see here we had that change of character, right? So here we had that change of character, that push down, which broke this market structure. So this became our strong area of supply. With if we look to the left, you can see we grabbed liquidity. Now, once we came into that area of supply, we're just looking for a sell. And then the way we also came into that area of supply also gave me further confidence in looking for those positions, right? We had one touch, a second touch, right, and a third touch, right? One, two, three, right? And then we just broke it and retest. So that was my entry. I was a bit conservative because of the nature of the market. The U.S. government was shut down, and Trump had, Trump. So that's why I put my stop loss at this level because I was being conservative. Okay, whatever, we might see some swing moves, some erratic swing moves, and I still want to be in that position. So that was the trade. So my plan was, okay, once we started to move, I would just wait for retest and then add positions. But unfortunately, I was ill, so I couldn't even add the positions, right? But here was one here, right? So we had this buy before the sell here, right? Market then came into here. Let's delete let's delete this PVD tool. Sorry, this risk to reward tool, right? So market came into this area, right? Market broke it, came back, took that liquidity. So all we just needed was a change of character. If we go to the 1 hour, it's clearer, right? So here we had that push down, then we had that push up, right? So this was now our fractal low, our fractal high. Once we broke that fractal low, a retest, this was our second entry, right? So we would look for an entry right here, and then we could put our stop above this at its peak. I think we got a 1 2 3. Yeah, beautiful, right? Even a 1 2 4, right? That's one entry. And then also we had another one, right? So we sold down, came back right into it. And this entry is so beautiful because it coincides with the quarterly open, right? The opens we always talk about, guys. So this was the quarterly open. Beautiful, beautiful. Acting as resistance was beautiful trade. If you took these trades, congratulations. That means you're seeing the right things and you're taking the right things. Okay. So then we sold off, and then once we started to sell off, right? So all we just want is okay. Now we're looking for another retracement. This is now our supply, right? This is now our immediate buy before the sell. So we're looking into here for another position, right? If you go on the lower time frame, this is also liquidity, right? If you go on the 15 minutes, you would see it, right? Here it is, right? So you can see here, right? This liquidity high, we grabbed it. Once we grab that liquidity, we started to consolidate, or we just wanted to, okay, fractal shift on the 15 minutes. If I'm going to enter on the 15 minutes, I would love to see a double fractal break. Beautiful. We had that double fractal break right here, but it didn't come back and retest. So there was no confirmation. There was no entry, rather. There was confirmation, but no entry, right? So that is that. So, and now since then we've just been selling. Now if we look here, now where's our next area? We have this liquidity high right here. We had this liquidity high that I was watching here. We had another one, right? So we sold off, right? Then we came back, took out this liquidity, and then we started to sell. Now we have this liquidity high. Now we've come here again this morning. We've taken out that liquidity, and now we're just selling off, right? So you could have been in the trade maybe since 5 o'clock, perhaps, but that wasn't for me. So let's see what Euro USD wants to do. But now this is like you're entering the orange zone, kind of, right, where it becomes less, the probability is less, the like as you're shorting it at this point. So always be careful. But if you want to short, wait for that liquidity to be grabbed, and then we can look for those shorts. So now we have this high as liquidity, right? We have this high as liquidity now. So for me, I would just wait, see. So, but this is also a nice place because it grabbed this area. So now these are supply zone. So this is now our supply area now. So market coming back into here, right? Would I would just wait. Okay, market coming back into this area. I would like this place to break this low. If we break that low, the market might just retrace, and then from there we can look for further sales. So let's keep that in mind as the day goes on. Okay, but all I'm just looking for on this pair is to short it. Okay, guys, I'm not looking for any longs for now, at least until we get here, because historically, even with the dollar in the Ember month, it's usually bullish, right? And if you've been here since August, I've been saying this, like Ember month, um, I'm targeting buys on the dollar. So which would mean sells on Euro USD. Okay, guys. So let's keep an eye out for that. If we go to DXY, right? I mean, guys, if you remember from here, we're talking about those, right? Those longs that we're targeting. And look at how it's playing. It's like, guys, I didn't draw this now. I drew this since. Like, this has been on my chart for weeks or months now, right? So, that just shows like, okay, if you just follow market structure, follow fundamentals, you would you would see the results, right? And just be patient, right? Be patient with the market, let it develop, let it show you its hand, and then just follow it, right? So we're expecting, okay, wanted that break of this high, we got that break, now we had those retests, and from then we've just been buying and buying and buying on the dollar, right? So this is my immediate target first once we get here. That's why I said I don't want to be shorting Euro USD now, right? Because when we get here, I won't. We've had a break of structure, and remember, after that break of structure, what do we expect, guys? We expect that retracement, like that retracement, right? So we've pushed up. So for me, it's just all about waiting for the retracement, and then from there we can look to add further buys. But I'm still interested in buying the market. I'm just waiting for some price action to develop, and then we look for those additional positions, right? So if you can see now, we are just we're squeezing into this highs. So perhaps maybe when we grab that liquidity, we could see that retracement, and then from there we start to look for higher positions on the dollar. But for now, no sells in sight for me until we have a change of character or a major shift. No sells in sight for me. On GBP USD, beautiful, beautiful too. You could have taken this trade. Remember from this quarterly open that we discussed, and since then we've just been selling off, right? We've just been selling off, and this, okay, now this was that liquidity high that we're targeting. Market was so bearish it didn't even come into there, right? And now this was our sell, our buy before the sell. We had liquidity resting here. We came into, then this was the change of character, retracement, and you could have found your short position right here, right? As a peak thing, right? See, like, oh, let's start getting these lows, right? So guys, it is so simple, right? It's so simple that we don't have to complicate it, right? You wait for liquidity, you follow market structure, and then once you just wait for liquidity, see that liquidity grab, your confirmation will just be that change of character and the direction that you want to trade in, and boom, you just look for those entries, right? Simple as ABC, guys. We don't need to complicate this, okay? Don't need to complicate it. Just wait, be patient, let market develop. Once market develops, go in. The only thing you have to consider right when you want to go into market is, how much am I going to risk? Where's my stop going to be? And where's my target going to be? That's all. You don't have to consider if this is going to work or if it's not going to work. We don't know, guys. All we follow is structure. Okay? Follow the structure. That's where your money is. Now we've had here, if you look here, you can see liquidity being grabbed, right? So we pushed up. This was also the entry I discussed, right? From here, liquidity being grabbed, and then we decided to sell from there. So for me, it's all about waiting for market structure to develop again. So if we look at it mechanically, this now is our buy before the sell. That's pushing market lower, right? That buy before the sell, that's pushing market lower. So we just want to wait and see what happens inside here. But we have liquidity resting above here, right? We have liquidity resting above here. Okay, so we have liquidity here also. So let's see if market wants to retrace, grab some liquidity, and then we can look for those short positions, guys. Okay, let's wait for that retracement, let market grab some liquidity, and then we look for those short positions, guys. NZD USD, just beautiful trades. Beautiful trades all around the market. It's what a wonderful day to be alive to trade the dollar, right? I mean, what can we say? So here we had let's go to the daily. You can see here we're having this impulsive phase down, right? So this impulsive phase down, right? Right, it's impulsive. Here we had the retracement. Now here we had the retracement, right? Let's change the color. Once I have other templates, okay. Here we have the retracement, and now here we have another impulsive phase, right? Here we have another impulsive phase. So for me, when you're in the impulsive phase, you don't want to look for any other thing apart from the sales, right? So although GU and EU is still clearer, but NU is also beautiful, right? So here we have, if you look at this mechanically, we had this, okay, this was our, pardon guys, this was our buy before the sell, right? And now we came right into it. So I was looking here, okay, here we have liquidity highs resting also on the daily, right? Which is a possibility that we take if we go to the 4-hour. Right? So you can see this consolidation, right? It's acting to push the markets down lower. And with NU can be so impulsive that sometimes there's even need to make that connection, right? So here we had that liquidity high, we grabbed it. Once we grabbed it, we came into we had this squeezing price action coming into this supply level, right? This consolidation area. We had, and then once we had that, all I'm just looking for is okay, price price change of character, right? I'm just looking for that change of character in price, and then looking for that entry. Here we had it, boom, that change of character, retest, and then just sold off at its peak 1 to 2.3. Beautiful, beautiful trades all around, right? This is just mechanical, guys. Once you start seeing this, you cannot unsee it, right? Here we also have that liquidity high, right? This morning was grabbed, all right? So guys, just beautiful, beautiful trades all around. So if you're looking to add more positions, right? So first thing you wait for is you wait for liquidity. Let's delete this. You wait for liquidity to be grabbed, right? So perhaps we can, this area right here, no, this is now our high, right? This is now our high. Maybe we come back here, we grab that liquidity, and then we start to push down. Or remember, guys, we've already grabbed that liquidity, now we're just pushing down. And so if you're in this position, congratulations, but just wait for market to develop, wait for wait for liquidity to be grabbed, and just continue selling from there, right? I'm not looking for any buys on these positions for now, right? Because we're in the impulsive phase, and you don't want to look for those buys right now, right? So you can see here we have our yearly open right here. Always follow those opens, guys. Don't never forget your opens. Here we have our yearly open right here, and also we have our quarterly open right here. Usually all of this will have been on my chart, but I've had a tough week. Alhamdulillah, I'm better now, so we're back, we're stronger. That's all that matters, right? So that's it, guys. So keep an eye out for those opens. This is our quarterly open. Is this our quarterly open? Maybe sure. Yes, it is our quarterly open with, yes, this is our quarterly open. So let's keep an eye out for these levels. I was watching it yesterday. I was watching this area yesterday, and then but this happened in the midnight when I'm not active on the market, so it came in to that liquidity, and then boom, we started to sell. So for me now, this is my supply level, right? So this is my, sorry guys, so this is my buy before the sell. Why is it acting this way? So this is my buy before the sell, right? So once market comes into here, remember I have my quarterly open here also. So once market comes into this area, I would be looking for additional positions, right? So we've had liquidity grab to our left. We've had that push down that I like to see. So if market comes back into this area, I would be looking for those sells, perhaps like this, with my stop above this high, right? And then to target a new low, okay, for 1 to 3. Okay, guys, so that would be a trade that I would be keeping an eye out for on NZD USD. Let's see if market gives us that. Okay, and then AUD USD is quite different from the others, honestly, because it is bullish. Since let's clear up this chart a little bit, study the structure, because even I haven't been active as I mentioned, but let's not take too much time. Wow. So here we go. So you can see with AUD USD we have this push up, and now we're just retracing into this consolidation area, into this demand area right here, which is acting to push up the market, and now we're just consolidating. So for me, AUD USD is kind of like a position that you can take to edge, right? To edge the others, right? Where okay, you're taking a long on AU, right? You're taking a long on AU to edge your short positions on GU or on EU or NZD USD. But that is what I see for AU. I don't see any other trade. I don't see the shorts because I mean it's just moving sideways, right, guys? If you look at this, right, guys? It's just moving sideways from here to here, just moving sideways. So for me, it's just I'm staying out of this market for now, right? And if you look at okay, now here we have this sell before the buy up, right? This now becomes our sell before the buy up, and now we're inside it. We've grabbed liquidity and we're pushing up. So if we start to see break above these highs and then retracement, then I would look for additional positions. But for now, not really. Okay. Then we have USD CHF. USD CHF, right? I'm looking for I'm looking to stay out of this market for now because it's not providing me a clear direction, and you don't have to force it, right? Don't force it. If you don't see, then it's not there, right? If you don't see, then it's not there. Let market develop. If you don't see, then it's not there. Okay. But what we can see mechanically is we have here this demand level pushing market up higher. So we have this sell before this buy up, and now we came back into it, and now we're just pushing up higher and higher. So if you come to the 4 hour, it's clear on the 4 hour, right? So we had here as our liquidity low. We grabbed it, and now we've had that change of character, right? So this is now our sell before the buy up. That's pushing market. So for me, it's all about okay, if we see a retracement into here, remember this is also a strong supply zone, because this, if you look at this supply zone, it took out liquidity to the left and broke market structure. So I'm not interested in trading between um, a nice demand and a nice supply. I'm not interested in fighting between those two. So I would just wait for it to develop, right? I would wait for it to develop. If we retrace into here and grab liquidity, some nice liquidity, then and I see that price injection, then I can follow it into higher prices. But for now, maybe into these highs, like taking out all of these descending highs right here. So that would be my target for USD CHF, right? So you can see all of these highs right here. That would be my target for USD CHF. But I need to see that develop, right? I need to see some liquidity being grabbed, and I need to see confirmation that we're pushing up. So that would give me further confidence in my position, right? Let's look at USD JPY. Wow, I mean that's the thing. Like with JPY right now, you just don't look for any other thing except for buys on its pairs, right? Because JPY is so bearish at the moment, like you don't even need to talk about this too much, right? So here we had like okay, this is our sell before this buy up that broke all of this structure, right? Took out all of these equal highs, broke the range. So for me, it's just all about waiting for liquidity, as we always do. Wait for some liquidity, grab, and then we look for those buy positions, right? So you have liquidity resting underneath these lows. You have liquidity resting underneath these lows. So you could just wait for that to be grabbed, and then wait for those change of character, and you start to add your positions, right? But keep that in mind as we're trading, right? So there's no other thing for me to look for here except for buys on JPY pairs. Okay. And then we have USD CAD, which is I don't even know what it's doing at the moment, really. Okay, for USD CAD, we're also bullish, right? So we've broken out of this consolidation pattern. We broke out of our range, right? And then we broke out of this wedge, sort of, right? This descending wedge, right? So we broke out, and now we're just consolidating. Okay, we're just being choppy, being choppy. So for me, all I'm just waiting for is some liquidity grab. I want to see the demand holding. The demand is holding beautifully, which is nice to see, right? So we had here our sell before this buy up, holding beautifully. So let's see some lows being taken perhaps, and then we can look for those additional positions. But for now, I'm staying away because it's being consolidative. So maybe I'm just waiting for that next breakout and that retest perhaps, and then we can go with the market. Okay, and finally, let's look at gold. Yeah, guys, you know the drill. Just look for buys on gold, and then you'll be happy, right? You're trying to sell this, you're in trouble. Okay, I don't know why you would want to do that. But what I'm saying is wait for price action to develop, right? We have here this liquidity low, we have here this liquidity low. Um, this is also a liquidity low, right? There's also a liquidity low. All of these are liquidity lows. So you just want liquidity to be grabbed. Change of character on the lower time frame. Perhaps you could go on the 15 minute, right? Here we had that liquidity being grabbed. So look at all this build up. We've grabbed that liquidity and now we pushed up. So for me, it's just all about, okay, now we're just waiting for that change of character, right? Here. And if you look at the 15 minute, this is now our sell before the buy up, right? So inside here, it's fine for you to start looking for those positions, those buys. But I would be cautious because now we've hit 4,000. So perhaps I would like to see a deeper retracement. I'd like to see a deeper retracement, and then we can just start buying. But it's gold, guys. Keep that in mind. We could just start buying from here. It is quite fine, right? It is quite fine because here you have, okay, so we still have these open lows. I would like to see perhaps these open lows get taken. If I see these open lows get taken, it will give me more confidence in that buy position, and we can act. We can use the 4,000 level as a psychological support level, and we use it to push up higher. Okay, guys, that's all I have for today. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for your patience, and have a wonderful week.